The real-time real estate segment today being brought to you by the area trusted real estate professionals of Ron Siegel Radio. Visit rsrhomescout.com, rsrhomescout.com. Yeah, they've got the great tool. If you want to know the current value of your property, it's looking backwards, not forwards. You have to talk to a real estate professional to get the forward value. But you go to the fourth tab on rsrhomescout.com, put in your address. It'll give you 3 or 4 different solutions for what the value is of your property. Now, if you go to the first tab, you can actually go shopping. So that'll give you about 97% of America, the properties that are available for sale. 97% of America. Now, again, your local real estate professionals have great information, but they're dealing with their local multiple listing service. So that's maybe they have another 1 or 2 services that they subscribe to. But generally, they're not going to have that big an issue, that big a range. They're not going to have 97%. So you can go there and get it for free. 3 trends that are good news for today's home buyers. While higher mortgage rates are creating affordability challenges for home buyers this year, there is some good news for those people still looking to buy a home. As the market has cooled this year, some of the intensity buyers faced during the peak frenzy of the pandemic has cooled too. Here are just a few trends that may benefit you when you go to buy a home today. Number 1, there are more homes to choose from. During the pandemic, housing supply hit a record low. At the same time, buyer demand skyrocketed. This combination made it difficult to find a home because there just weren't enough to meet buyer demand. According to Calculated Risk, the supply of homes for sale increased by 39.5% for the week ending October 28th compared to the same week last year. Even though it's still a seller's market and supply is still lower than normal levels, you have more to choose from in your home search. That makes finding your dream home a bit less difficult. Number 2, bidding wars have eased. One of the top stories in real estate over the past 2 years was the intensity and frequency of bidding wars. But today, things are different. With more options, you'll likely see less competition from other buyers looking for homes. According to the National Association of Realtors, NAR, the average number of offers on recently sold homes has declined. This September, the average was 2.5 offers per sale. In contrast, last September, the average was 3.7 per sale. If you tried to buy a house over the past 2 years, you probably experienced the bidding war frenzy firsthand and may have been outbid on several homes along the way. Now you have a chance to jump back into the market and enjoy searching for a home with less competition. Number 3, more negotiation power. When you have less competition, you also have more negotiating power as a buyer. Over the last 2 years, more buyers were willing to skip important steps in the home buying process, like the appraisal or inspection, to try to win a bidding war. But the latest data from the National Association of Realtors, NAR, shows the percentage of buyers waiving those contingencies is going down. As a buyer, this is good news. The appraisal and the inspection give you important information about the value and condition of the home you're buying. And if something turns up in the inspection, you have more power today and renegotiate with the seller. A survey from Realtor.com confirms more sellers are accepting offers that include contingencies today. According to that report, 95% of sellers said buyers requested a home inspection, and 67% negotiated with buyers on repairs as a result of the inspection findings. Bottom line, while buyers still face challenges today, they're not necessarily the same ones you may have been up against just a year or so ago. If you're outbid or had trouble finding a home in the past, now may be the moment you've been waiting for. Let's chat. If you have any friends, family, or coworkers looking to buy, sell, or borrow on real estate, can we ask you for that introduction? And if you're going to just sit and wait, well, one of the things you may be waiting for, I'm just going to throw this out there, is one of the things you may be waiting for is things to go back the way they were with the multiple bidding and the getting your offers turned down. If we get back to where interest rates start dropping and property values start escalating, or if they come back just a little bit, or they're not going up quite as much, the bottom line is that you're going to go back to where you were a year ago, not being able to buy a house. You're going to get back in there where you've got a million offers on every property. You've got a line out the door to see them. Is that what you're looking for? Are you wanting, it just amazes me because I get people that tell us, something, I'm just going to stop looking. I'm just way too frustrated. And then when the opportunity comes that there's not as many offers, I'm going to wait for prices to drop and interest rates to drop. Why? So we get back to where you were frustrated. Does that make any sense? Am I missing something here? Just throw that out there for you. I don't know if I'm missing something, but the bottom line is if you wait, you may be. Now, here's the other issue. If you're wondering, am I paying too much for the property? Well, just send us some information on the property that you're considering. We actually have something we came out with it about 2 years ago, just because there were so many people that were concerned. Am I bidding too much for this property? Well, we have something called a bid over ask tool. You give us the address. We can go on the county recorder, see when the property was when the last sale was on that property, and what the purchase price was, the transaction price was at the time of the last sale. We put that into our tool. We put in there what you're contemplating your offer to be. And it says, okay, if you bid that much, it may be that 3 months, 6 months, 12 months, 18 months, whatever, that's how long it's going to take until the property value gets that. What are we looking at? We're looking at all kinds of valuation models of saying what the expected return is or the appreciation is for that specific area. And what has the historic appreciation been for that exact property? Because we put the last transaction date and amount into the tool. And it comes back with a number. This is what you're looking at. If you bid on the one I was talking about earlier, if that's a $900,000 property, you bid $925,000 and you look and you say, okay, and I have no idea what the numbers are because I did not look. And you say, okay, well, this seller bought this property in 2005 and they paid, I don't know, I'm going to pull a number out of my hat that they paid $400,000. It looks and says, okay, here's what the appreciation has been over those 17 years. And what are we anticipating for the future? And the algorithm comes out and says, okay, this is the numbers. Just pretty simple. It's all math. Now, it does not take into account what you need from the realtors. The realtors are going to tell you, is it on the right side of the golf course or the wrong side of the golf course? Is there a premium for upkeep? Does it need a lot of work? Those are issues that are going to have to be massaged by the realtors because they know that stuff. If they're doing their job, they're out there looking at the competition. What did the house down the street sell for? And what were the upgrades or downgrades or comparison to the property that you have? They know that stuff. They're shopping for that stuff. They get that stuff. So I'm a big believer that you need professional guidance. If you think that you can compete with what a realtor is doing without their assistance or just going to a cut rate guy or one of the guys out there that simply sells on the market's going to be the market. Well, that's kind of true. The market is going to be the market. What the value of any property is exactly what a willing seller will pay a willing buyer. But think about this. When you see a property that goes to foreclosure and it goes to the courthouse steps and only one person shows up to bid, do you think they're going to get the highest possible price, or do you think that person that's bidding is now going to just take their offer and cut it by some percentage number? They're going to cut it, of course. Now, if there's 25 people there bidding, the property value is going to go up just because you've got competition. So just by throwing the property up on the MLS and saying, oh, the market's going to take care of it. Well, you don't need to pay the cut rate broker for that. You can go on the MLS and pay $49, I think it is, and get your property put on the MLS. Doesn't mean anybody's going to ever see it there because you have to know what you're doing. I see. I swear I've looked at pictures. Take a look if you ever want, and you probably don't want to because you're not in this industry. How many times have you seen pictures of the kitchen, which is one of the most important rooms of the house? Dirty dishes in the sink. How many times have you seen pictures of the master bedroom? Dirty clothes. The bed's not made. Or the agent took a picture of the corner. That's always exciting. I want to know what the corner of the bedroom looks like, right? Or the laundry room has dirty clothes on top of the washing machine. There's value in staging. There's value in the realtor saying, take your family pictures down because we want the buyer to focus on the property. We don't want them to focus on your family. We know you had a great trip to Hawaii last year or to Mexico, or that you look great in a bikini. Not you, Josh, somebody else maybe. But the bottom line is that's not what we're focused on. We want to make sure that they're focused on how they're going to feel in the property. That's why we say take out a lot of the stuff out of the closet. Makes the closet seem bigger. Declutter. Those are things the realtors will tell you when you have that professional consultation with a professional realtor who's not trying to just do the cut rate job. And by the way, the cut rate guys, what are they compensated for? Getting the property sold as quickly as possible. If you're selling your property at a flat rate, cut rate, are they trying to maximize the value for you? Or are they just trying to get it sold because that's the way they go to the next one? Think about all these things.